Welcome back, my dear viewers, to this video. This is the third part of the video, the portrait of a lady. I hope that all of you are fine, keeping well, and thank you very much for supporting me, for your views, for your comments, for your subscription. Thanks a lot for all your support. Dear students and my dear viewers, today I'm going to do the third part of this video, the portrait of a lady. Here in this video I'm going to give you the summary of the whole story, and then it will be followed by understanding the text, and I will discuss the question and answers there. Then I will talk about the text, and after that there will be some word meanings, that is related to walk and working with words. I will try to solve the questions that is given at the end of the chapter. So I hope that it will help you and you will enjoy this video. The summary of the story. The Portrait of a Lady is one of the greatest works of Khushwant Singh. The author gives a paint picture of his close and affectionate association with his grandmother. He draws a picture of warm relation with his grandmother from his early childhood right up to his homecoming from abroad. Appearance. His grandmother was short and fat and had a slight bent. She had wrinkles on her face. She kept on hobbling about in pure white, with one hand resting on her waist and the other telling the beads of her rosary. She was pure and pristine like a stretch of a serene winter mountain. Togetherness with grandmother in the village. The author's parents left him and his grandmother back in the village. She used to wake him up early in the morning, said morning prayer, got him ready for school and accompanied him to school. Not only that, she would sit inside and read the scriptures while the author would study alphabet and morning prayers. They had a very affectionate relationship with each other at this time. Life in the city. When the parents were settled in the city, the author and the grandmother also moved there. It was a turning point for them. Although they shared the same room, the granny did not come to the school. With the passage of time, they saw less of each other. Since he started going to an English school, she did not like it. She could neither help him in his study nor did she like his lessons. She was very upset because they did not teach him about God and scriptures. Besides, they were giving him music lessons, which seemed to her a moral degradation. She silently expressed her disapproval. Now, she rarely talked to the author. Authors going to university. When the author went to the university, he was given a room of his own. It snapped the link of friendship between them. The grandmother secluded herself and took to spinning wheel. In the afternoon, she relaxed in feeding the sparrows. They were her new companions, perched on her and gave her the happiest half an hour of the day. Going abroad. The grandmother was very upset when he went abroad for further studies. She came to the station stoically to leave him. She kept on praying and planted a silent kiss on his forehead, signifying a trace of affection between grandmother and grandson. The author nurtured the moist mark probably as a sign of last physical contact between them. Now coming back home. After 5 years, when he came back home, she went to the station to bring him back. She seemed never a day older, but she hardly had time for words because she was busy in saying her prayers. Even on the day of his arrival, she had her happiest moment in feeding the sparrows with mild scoldings. In the evening, she collected women from the neighborhood and started singing and playing an old drum to welcome the author back home. She overstrained herself. This was the first time she did not pray. Grandmother ill. The following morning she was down with mild fever. She understood that her end was near, so she never wasted time but kept on praying and telling her beads. The grandmother dies. She lay peacefully on her bed. Her lips stopped moving and her rosary fell from her fingers. She was dead. There was a red glow of sunlight on the veranda. Her dead body was shrouded with red cloth. Thousands of sparrows came to bid farewell to the grandmother. They were silent spectators in bidding adieu to their beloved grandmother. Now, my dear students, we have come to the next part of this video. It is understanding the text. So the text that I have read out and the summary that I have given, now I will discuss a question and answers from the text. Mention the 3 phases of the author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad. Answer. The first phase of author's relationship with his grandmother was in his early childhood when he lived in the village with her. They were very close friends. They lived together. She used to wake him up in the morning, get him ready for school, reach him school, stayed with him there and brought him back home. So there was a very close affinity between them. In the second phase of their relationship, they moved to the city. It was the turning point in their relationship. Although they shared the same room, but the grandmother did no longer come to the school, nor could she help him in his study because he used to go to an English school. There was a rift in their relationship. The third phase started when the author went to a university. He was given a separate room. The thread of relationship snapped between them with this separation. The grandmother took to spinning and feeding sparrows. Question number 2. 3 reasons why the author's grandmother was disturbed when he started going to the city school. Answer. As he started going to city school, the grandmother did not like the lessons taught there. Secondly, she hated the fact that they did not teach him about God and scriptures. Finally, she was very displeased that the grandson was learning music, which seemed to have lewd association. Question number 3. 3 ways in which the author's grandmother spent her days after he grew up. Answer. After the author grew up, she spent her days by spinning wheels in seclusion, reciting her prayers continuously, and relaxed for a while in the afternoon by feeding the sparrows. Question number 4. The odd way in which the author's grandmother behaved just before she died. Answer. Just before she died, the grandmother behaved strangely. She had mild fever and the doctor told that she would be all right soon. But the grandmother thought differently. She knew that her end was near. She stopped talking to anybody. She lay on her bed peacefully and kept praying and telling her beads. Soon her lips ceased to move and the rosary fell off her lifeless fingers. She was dead. Question number 5. The way in which the sparrows expressed their sorrow when the author's grandmother died. Answer. The sparrows expressed their sorrow silently and without touching the crumbs of bread. As the dead body lay on the ground, they came in thousands and sat all around on the floor of the courtyard and veranda. They did not chirp, neither did they peck at the crumbs. It was their silent solidarity to bid farewell to their beloved grandmother. Now, my dear students and my dear viewers, talking about the text. Question. The author's grandmother was a religious person. What are the different ways in which we come to know this? Answer.
The grandmother was a pious lady.
She was always in her prayers. She used to hobble about the house, saying her prayers with one hand, always telling the beads of her rosary. While giving birth to him and dressing him up, she would say her morning prayers in a monotonous manner, just to teach him prayers. While he went to village school, she would read scriptures sitting in the temple. When he went to an English school in the city, She did not like the fact that they did not teach him about God and scriptures. When the author went to the university, she found her solace in constant recitation of her prayers while she was at her spinning wheel. In the last phase of her life, she lay peacefully on her bed, constantly saying her prayers and telling her beads. Now the next question. Describe the changing relationship between the author and his grandmother. Did their feeling for each other change? Answer. In course of time, there was gradual change in the relationship between them. In the village, they had a very close relationship. The grandmother was intimately involved in every activity of the author, starting from his academics right up to his religious nourishment. Their shift to the city caused a narrow rift between them. The city life was a turning point in their relationship. The school with music lessons and Western education void of religious studies widened the rift in their relationship. Author's admission to university was another blow to their relationship. The author had his own room and the grandmother secluded herself with stoic resignation, taking to feed sparrows and spinning her wheel. The author's decision of going abroad caused a chasm in their relationship. The grandmother ceased to be sentimental anymore. In spite of a wide gap between their relationships, there was no change in their feelings. Now, would you agree that author's grandmother was a person strong in character? If yes, give instances that show this. Indeed, the grandmother was the quintessence, that means perfect example of a strong character. In the village, she solely took the responsibility of looking after the author when his parents left for city. In the city, she did not like many things, but she quietly secluded herself. When he was going abroad, the grandmother ceased to express her emotion and abstained from talking. When the author came back from abroad, she sang to celebrate his homecoming in spite of protest. In the last phase of her life, she proved the doctor wrong, ignored the protest and lay peacefully saying prayers and telling her beads. All these instances prove that she was a person of strong character. Have you known someone like the author's grandmother? Do you feel the same sense of loss with regard to someone whom you have loved and lost? Dear students, I hope that you can answer this question. You can think of your own grandmother or somebody else who is very close to you, and you can just try to get the correct answer, get the answer. Otherwise, you can make a comment in the comment box. I will try to give you this answer. Now, working with words. Dear students, dear friends, it's very important to know the importance of the words in a story or in a paragraph or in a prose piece. Notice the following uses of word tell in the text. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. It means count while reciting. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. Here, give information to somebody. Tell means give information. At her age, one could never tell. Means one could never be sure. Tell means to be sure. She told us that her end was near. Here, make something known to someone in spoken or written words. My dear students, now we have come to the section where we have words for walking. There are 10 words in this group of words. Out of this 10, there are 7 words which mean walk. So I am giving you the meaning of these words, and these words are here. Shuffle. Shuffle means to work slowly without lifting feet. Stride. Stride means to walk with long step in particular direction. Waddle. Waddle means to walk with short steps, swinging from side to side. Paddle. To walk or stand with no shoes or socks in shallow water. Swagger. Swagger means to walk in a proud and confident manner. Trudge. To walk slowly or with heavy steps because you are tired or carrying something heavy. And the last word, slog, to walk or travel with great effort or difficulty. My dear viewers and my dear students, it is great that you have been with me for all this while and listen to this question and answers and be the part of this lesson. Thank you very much for your presence. Dear students, dear viewers, for you every week one video is uploaded, and this is all because of you, and I hope that you like them. And if you like them, please subscribe and give comment and give your support. And like always, I would like to say great thank you to all of you, to all the viewers, to all the students, those who are the part of my lessons here. Thank you. Have a very good day. And don't forget to watch my other videos, and don't forget to see my blog also. I'm giving you the link of my blog in the description below. Kindly check. So goodbye and all the best to all of you. Thank you. Have a good day.